Well, can he? He can.
Yes,
He's
he
gonna show you today. This is the Big Finish at Lincoln Lodge. We're about to get it on the show. So come on, everybody, and get the show on the road.
Let's get it on the road. Hi, welcome to the Big Finish, recorded at the Lincoln Lodge in Chicago, Illinois. My name is Jamie Schreiner. I'm here with my co-host.
Back at Kenny, baby.
And we have a very exciting guest with us today in the studio. We have the one, the only Joe Fernandez.
Yay, Joe.
Yay, Joe.
There's plenty of Joe Fernandezes. There's no way I'm the only one.
There's only one here.
That last name's been around for a bit.
In our hearts. We got... So, Joe, tell us a little bit about you. Just a quick sentence summary of yourself. Joe has he has an amazing album that I think it debuted #1 on the iTunes
Which
charts
never
called
happens.
Ugly?
This never happened.
Never happened.
No one
ever.
No one in the history of the world has ever. You know what? That I follow like Stan like Twitter accounts for like pop stars and stuff, and when they're really struggling, that is what they go with. They're like, look, Lady Gaga topped the iTunes charts again. I'm like, do they change those things every 5 minutes?
I truly like. I don't even know what the algorithm is or what, but it's just kind of like, oh, anyone can do this, and that's not great, right? It's not a good thing. I know we can use it. I mean, like if you tell the average person, which I think a lot of times you tell the average person something, they're like, oh, that's so cool. It sounds impressive.
Like, so you may have guessed by listening, Joe is, I would say, self-esteem could be a little higher.
Joe does have low self-esteem.
He is like one of the most handsome people, and his album's called Ugly.
Yeah.
Which to me, I'm like,
no, I remember Joe talking about listening to you talk. Sorry, now this seems like I remember you listening to you talk, just shit on yourself or something. I'm like, I've always thought Joe was such a handsome dude. I like was surprised. That's such a terrible thing to say, and that actually is like worse than like calling you fat and ugly and some way.
That's not true.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things where it's like if you are like depressed, right? No one's like, oh, but you smile a lot. You know what I mean? But it's the one thing where it's like, people are like, oh, you shouldn't think that way. It's like, yeah, I know. For sure. I get it. I'm not, I get what you're saying. You're not alone with me at home in the shower when I'm like,
that's so true.
It's like, well, that's why I've been trying to do a joke about it, like the body dysmorphic shit, where it's like, it is the only disorder that when you get diagnosed with it, it's like kind of a confidence boost where you're like, oh, I'm not ugly. I'm just insane. That's perfect. Like, Because true, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, it's so, like, that's what gets so weird about it when people especially get angry. Like, I was in New York and Tom Takar was like, how dare you? And I was like, all right, let's settle down here. I haven't seen you in like a year and this is what you're coming at me for.
No, I mean, people tell me the same thing about everything I hate about myself. And it's just like, what are we doing here?
Well, we always judge ourselves the harshest, you know?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
You always hate your set the most at a show. You judge it way harsher or you compare it to someone else's like, fuck, man, I only got one applause break and they got two. And it's like,
I just recently did that where somebody was like, you know, I'm so glad I got you on the show. Like I was like, we needed a high energy person. You were just killing from the beginning. I'm like, I really felt like I lost him for a second there. I do that all the time. It's like somebody will give me a compliment. I'll be like, yeah, but what about this piece of shit? But I have this piece of shit in my pocket.
Well, I think the other problem when you do stand up long enough and you know the reaction when it's at its best. And so then all it takes is one joke to not get this. It can still even get a laugh. And to the audience, they were like, that was great. But in your head, you're like, fuck, that didn't hit as hard as it normally does.
Well, and it's like, I know my thing that I struggle with is I will find the one person in the audience who does not fuck with me and what I'm saying. And that's all I will think. I'll be like, well, Susan with the Afghan in the glasses looked pissed the entire time. So it doesn't matter if everybody else was laughing because she hates me. And then like, sometimes that person will come to you and be like, oh, good job. And you're just like, I want to kill you. Like, I want to murder you. Like, why did you look like you were smelling shit my entire set?
The weirdest crowds are when, like, they're not really laughing out loud, but they are enjoying it, and you're like, they're kind of like just smiling and nodding, and you're like,
brutal.
Yeah.
It's so brutal.
And then they all come up and they give you more compliments than a crowd full of people who laugh. And it's very strange. You're just like, what is this?
You didn't laugh.
Yeah, like a Black Mirror episode or some shit. Is that the right reference where something is weird and then...
I mean,
weird stuff happens in that show. It's true.
I think it's a little bit more high drama, but it's like, I get it. It's high drama for us. Like that.
Yeah. High drama, high camp, Black Mirror.
Should I do his astrology chart now, or that's a bad transition? It's a bad transition.
Yeah, that was
the possibly.
We're all on the low self-esteem podcast train.
Yeah, that's okay,
should I do my segment now?
I know, it's such a bad transition. I mean, I'm the queen of bad. Well, no, I
do, but it is weird. Is it like? I don't think it's just comedians, but then I talk to normal people and I'm like, oh, they don't hate themselves very much.
No,
like,
they don't. Well, and
or they just hide it better.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I think that might be a lot of it because I think that we are very confessional.
Yeah.
And like very like oversharey and like very much like let me say exactly what I think because I don't know, I feel like from doing it on stage so much that you now have performed like in front of 300 people and told them this traumatic thing maybe and or like this thing you hate about yourself, and so you're like, well, these people have seen my stand-up, I'll talk to them about that, they know that, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, I just feel like the average person though doesn't it just feels like they don't go as hard at themselves sometimes. But that could also just be in my head. Maybe that's just in my head again.
You know what's crazy is we had almost the same interaction with the one time I did your podcast on 30 characters where I was shitting on my body and talking about how people don't hate themselves in the same.
Oh, really?
And now you are doing
Is that sunk into my head that far from 30 characters?
No, yeah. I don't think I think it's just parallel mental illness. I'm
gonna call you out like you're Mencia. You stole my sad thoughts.
No, yeah, I guess I just like, I don't care enough about like my body representing my entire existence enough anymore to like be sad about it. Like I used to hate my body and now I'm just like, oh, that's only one aspect of my existence. And like most people are pretty cool with it. And I think my personality is really what's always shown through, even when I was really, really fat and unattractive in my younger years. So it's like,
I feel like I'm like the reverse of like, you know, those hot girls who are like, oh, they just want to fuck me. They don't care about my personality at all. Like the amount of times I've thought a guy was into me because he laughed at every single thing I said, and then it turns out I was just funny.
Just so charming.
Like it hurts. You're like, okay, yeah, I get it. You like me. Could you pretend to laugh to try and fuck me? Do you know what I mean? That's kind of where I feel I'm at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I've been working on my confidence, though. I've been getting back on my meds, so.
Yeah.
Nice. Get back on them, baby.
Honey, have you ever done the meds?
I'm on the meds, of course.
Ooh. I was like, I'm not on the meds. I go to
interesting
CBT. I know. I'm on the cognitive behavioral therapy train.
Yeah.
I will say it's like, it was getting to that point a few weeks ago where I was like, this bi-weekly might not be cutting it. I might have to go back to the weekly because I'm about to have a mental breakdown.
Yeah, I have a CBT too. So, and ever since the pandemic hit, I started meditation. That helps a lot in terms of anxiety.
Everyone says meditation.
I do the meditation, and I think the affirmations have really helped my because my body image stuff really used to fuck me up a lot. But I think the affirmation stuff, as well as like, and this is like a little bit more of like I don't think it's that you guys wouldn't have this experience, but I think definitely like growing up where I grew up as a woman in Indiana, it was very much taught like the way you look is kind of like part of your value as a person, if not like the most important part of the value as a person. Yeah.
Hollywood, Indiana.
Hollywood, Indiana. I know.
Indiana, because everyone's so hot in
Everyone's
Indiana,
so hot in Indiana.
You just really have to turn up the heat.
I mean, that's the thing.
It's like you walk into, you go, is HBO casting Indiana?
That's why they named all their towns after their hottest dudes. Gary, Danville.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, and that's the thing is like, yeah, now that I've left Indiana, it makes me laugh so hard that like that is the people who like made me have low self-esteem. Like really this state.
Yeah.
These like mayonnaise overflowing out of the side of a sausage casing motherfuckers made me feel bad about how I look.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of my face. Like what?
Here's what's so hard is anyone can make you feel bad about how you look. You know what I mean?
Well, this is kind of sad. I bought it. It's not sad. See, that's the thing. It's like I'm trying to even get over saying stuff like that. But I bought a book that was called The 4 Agreements that I heard was really good about this kind of stuff. And it said like, don't. Like, it kind of like talks about not hating yourself, because then when people say negative stuff about you, you won't believe it if you don't hate yourself. But if you do, you'll take in all the negative stuff and never the positive stuff. But if you think the positive thing, then when someone says something negative, you'll be able to brush it off.
Yeah.
But that's hard to do when you
don't love when you don't love yourself to like you have to love yourself so much that like when somebody says something negative about you, you're like, no, obviously that's not True.
Yeah.
Instead of letting it sit in your brain for the last 7,000 years.
I know.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, I will say, like, yeah, I want to read that book, The Four Agreements.
It's good.
Because it's like, yeah, I feel like
it's short too. I mean, you can finish it in like a day.
Oh, hell yeah. Then I love that. Like long books, just, it's hard because I never finish them. So if it's short, that's perfect. I'll just like rip through it.
The only long book I've read is the Bible. You know
what else is good for your mental health? Have you done Michael Jackson yoga? Do you know what that is?
Namaste,
namaste, mamakusa. Namaste, namaste, mamakusa. Yeah. You thought I was going to go somewhere else, but I didn't, see?
Yes.
I was really waiting with bated breath there. I was like, what is happening?
It was just a song parody.
Yeah.
Love a song parody.
There's some baiting joke there. Baiting. Baiting is...
Is that a thing for yoga?
No. I'm trying to do that. Now I'm trying to build back to the child molester joke.
Yeah.
I'm trying to build back better to a classic MJ touched
reference.
kids joke. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Oh.
Remember when we just looked over it? Remember when everyone knew, but we just let him go?
I mean, it was the same
the
thing with R.
90s were
Kelly
fucking
too.
awesome, bro.
It's funny because it's like everybody talks about the 90s. So there's a thing called the doom clock. I don't know if you're aware of this.
Yeah.
Like however many minutes
It's got
to
to be
midnight.
pretty close to midnight now.
Yeah, it's pretty close to midnight. The furthest back it's ever been set is like the 90s. I think from like 90 to 96, it was 17 minutes to midnight. And I think it's because we just didn't care. Like we just were like, we're just ignorance is bliss. We're just gonna act like this shit is not going on.
Yeah.
What was the thing that was causing it to be so close, though?
Oh, like.
I think since nukes have been invented,
I think it's
I know, but those have been around
the recession made it go and then like just like continuing like festering is just getting it closer and closer. And I think right now we're 2 minutes to midnight, which is supposed to be like the closest it can be.
I don't even know why. What's happening?
Oh, what's happening?
At the time of recording this, New York and LA are still intact.
Yes,
as we speak.
As we speak, they are here.
Have you heard of the stand-up comedian Zelensky, by the way? He's alt.
So alt. I've not heard of him.
It's so crazy. I used to be a stand-up.
He makes fun of he makes fun of stand-up. He bombs on purpose.
I love that.
No, okay, yikes. I'm gonna people are not taking the jokes right now.
I know.
They're not?
That's
No.
People are really sensitive about it on the internet right now.
On the internet. That's why I got off Twitter. I can't stand it.
Yeah. Twitter is the most miserable place in the world.
I think so too. People always crap on Facebook. I'm like, no, Twitter is like full of people who shouldn't be interacting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you
So
forget that you
true.
could be arguing with a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, this person's just an idiot.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And you think
No, Twitter
you
is
use like
dark.
some kind of reasoned argument, and then they're like, yeah, well, your comedy sucks. And then you're like, wait, what?
Well,
Are we just talking about universal health care or something?
It's all sentences too, so it's like some of these issues that we're arguing on Twitter like couldn't fit in like books, and then we're like, we have to come up with a sentence response. Like it takes out all nuance of like
having a meaningful conversation at all.
I've been way happier since being off of it, for sure.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's also, we're not meant to know if something terrible's about to happen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's supposed to. We're not supposed to know that there's a famine coming until the potatoes stop coming. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's supposed
like
to
we're
be
not
like,
supposed to be told like, oh, there's gonna be a famine coming. You know, like everything bad is. You know what I'm saying? Like humans aren't meant to know all that.
I mean, literally I hate to be like back in the day, but like it was literally like a horse pulling up with a letter, and you're like, oh shit, the British are coming. Like that was how you knew the British were coming. Like now it's just, just like read, like, I mean, I do love how connected we are, but it's like, it is very, just exasperating and devastating to like see this shit happening. That was not a real word, and I know.
Exacerbated before I came here.
You've exacerbated. Exasperating? What's the real word?
Exasperating.
Mm-hmm. Exasperating. It was exasperating for me to see all this stuff going on the other side of the world, and it's like you like, yeah, I could give money or I can call my congressperson, but like there's not really anything actively I can do right now with my physical body today to help this situation.
Yeah.
All I can do is give money and call somebody, and it's just like when you see how devastating it is, is disheartening. I said exacerbating. I don't know words, you guys. Okay, I try to use big words. I don't actually know them.
Have you ever?
But I
been
care
in a
about these
situation-
people.
I'm sorry.
Like,
this is such a
I
dark
love
transition
it.
from the Ukraine back to masturbating. But I feel like exacerbating is like when you're like really tired but also really horny. It's like, do I masturbate right now or do I just go to bed?
Same with going to the bathroom. You're like, which one do I do
Oh
first?
my God. Yeah. I'm like, can I hold it this whole night?
Or should I just
get it over
Oh,
with
no,
now?
I meant
Yeah.
going to the bathroom or masturbating. Which one do you do first?
Oh, I meant sometimes I'm like so sleepy. I'm like, can I really go back up and piss right now? Then I always end up having to, because it's like I'm not gonna pee my bed and end up John Wayne Gacy.
Wait, did he?
Apparently, like a bunch of serial killers peed their beds, which I peed my bed kind of late in life too. But I think that what they think it might be is that like they think that like it's how the parent reacts to it. If you're getting like punished for peeing your bed like as a kid, like that's like sets a negative that's something that could really fuck you up in it, because it's like something that's involuntary that you're doing at night and that you're getting punished for in the morning, like right when you wake up. That was one of the theories, but that's one of the common traits that people like look at. But you hear so much about like serial killers and
the theories behind it, and it's just like
and that's nobody knows the difference between what the word sociopath and psychopath mean. Do you know what I mean? And everyone thinks they do.
But they
what is the difference?
I think the difference, if you can say
seven
first.
people will give you 7 different answers is the thing, is because some people say that there's no difference. It's all just antisocial personality disorder.
No, there's a
and then
difference.
some people say that like, I can't remember which one now, but sociopaths were like born that way and psychopaths like became that. Like,
oh, I didn't
like
know
it's
that.
like
Okay.
like a psychopath, or one of them is like where like you feel no emotional, like you feel connection to like if you're like a terrorist and you're fighting for this cause.
There's
like
an emotional connection there, so that is not psychopath or sociopath.
Well, no, you do feel those emotions, but you don't for the people that you're killing, and that's like, but that doesn't fit with the popular like way that we use psychopath or sociopath. Whereas like a sociopath is someone who just doesn't care about anybody.
Well, that's
something.
I've heard.
I can't. I'm fucking it all up.
I'm pretty sure from what I recall, it's a psychopath does not feel remorse or care or concern for anybody that they kill.
Yeah.
Or like harm, whereas a sociopath does feel remorse, does feel connection to, because it's like they said Dahmer was a sociopath because he would like be sad after he killed the person because he was like, oh, they're gone. Like he would feel regret after the fact, which is like
And
sociopath.
Hunger?
And deep hunger.
Deep hunger.
mean-
Dude, that'd be so funny if he was sitting there listening to Duran while he was doing and I'm hungry like the wolf.
Oh no.
You know what's weird? White collar criminals have the same sociopath as like serial killers, apparently, or whatever their thing is. That they just have no remorse of the stuff they do. They're like, yeah, step on. I'll go to space while people are starving.
Completely. It is the same thing. It's just like
That is so crazy. Like, I don't know who's around Jeff Bezos, but someone you'd think at least one person would be like, dude, this is a bad look during a pandemic.
you would think.
Yeah.
Like, you would think. God, it's just like. But I don't know what that world is so insane. It's the amount of money that $1 billion is,
And the fact that it's
so
nothing.
insane.
Like that is like a 20 to us. To what it is to him. $1 billion is like seriously, it's like he could drop down on the ground and not notice.
Yeah.
And it makes me like, I mean, I was telling Becca, today, I help give my grandma a bath with my aunt. It's something I do every Sunday. And as I was going to leave, my aunt and I got into it about like Ukraine. And then also she was complaining about inflation. And I said, well, the reason prices are going up is because like a lot of the people at the top are not wanting to take a pay cut, but they have to pay the workers more. And so that is how they're doing it without having to lose any of their money. And she's like, well, it is their money. I was like,
oh my God.
I have to go. So can I get into this with you?
Why is it their money?
Yeah,
it is so crazy.
It's
like when people fight for millionaires that they are not themselves, it's so
yeah. And I literally I'm sitting there like, I'm like, you do realize, and what I said to her, like the last thing I said before I was like, I really do have to go, like I'm gonna, and I ended up like making myself be late because of, I was like, you do realize that like if the economy collapses, like you're fucked. Like you're one of the people directly fucked by that. They're gonna be fine. And so it's like, it does not benefit you to stand up for Jeff Bezos.
That's the thing. It's like people who they're arguing on principle and not like the reasonable thing of like, well, on principle, it's their money because they earned it. It's like, sure, I guess, but like that's terrible.
They're arguing on a principle. Do you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
also, it's like, why was that the standard that we all were like, this is a good idea? You know, I mean, we weren't all like that. No, there was never a point where we were all like, yeah, this is a good idea. It's just like, people in power have kind of always maintained it and like slowly, but God, I would kill baby Ronald Reagan.
I would go back in time. I wish I had. It's funny when I was thinking
TikTok. So sorry though, I really quickly. You have that TikTok. I just was talking about this where like you. Where you went back and killed baby Hitler.
Oh yeah.
And then you're like, oh well, the Holocaust still happened because it turns out the social movement. I love that joke so much.
Well, because I always think about how people say they'd go back in time and kill Hitler. I'm like, that wouldn't do anything. Like it'd be like if you kill. It's like we killed Bin Laden. Al Qaeda's still like. I mean, it doesn't like actually stop. Like it's all about the conditions. You have to go back and stop World War I to stop. You know what I mean? If it wasn't him, it'd have been someone else. And Like it's like everyone always thinks like, and also this is the other thing I always get frustrated by is like when people say they go back in time and kill Hitler, but I'm like, would you also suffer the consequences of doing that? And they're like, what? I'm like, well, you wouldn't be a hero. You would go to a concentration camp and just die a slow, painful death for killing the leader.
Well, had he invented them yet though? I mean, he was a really busy baby.
Well, you think he's a baby? Yeah. Well, then you go to jail for killing a baby though.
Yeah, you would definitely go to jail. You still go to jail. Yeah.
And then like there'd still be Himmler and Goebbels and all these guys who still would have that sentiment, and one of them would, come up.
I guess you're right. You have to kill a lot of babies.
And then
we're not killing enough babies.
Yeah. You would just be the baby killer.
That'd be like the thing we study in history classes. This dude who just went back in time and like I don't know who this Beckett guy was, but goddamn, he did not like babies.
He did not like any of these babies.
He did not like German and Austrian babies specifically.
Then like now we go forward in time and there'd be all these like there'd be like this like statue of a baby, like little Adolf Hitler. They're like he brutally murdered this baby for no reason, and this is the baby killer. And then it's like, who's Jack the Ripper? Who's the German baby killer? Anyway,
speaking of babies and birthdays.
Okay.
I was going to do, so Joe actually sent me 500 movies to pick from.
Oh, I know, yeah. I always have a hard time with these questions, like what's your favorite? Because honestly, some of these can depend on your mood that day.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
Oh, it's such a Gemini thing to say. I love
it. Is
it.
it?
We love it. That's such a Gemini thing to say. So, yeah, Joe does, I don't have the big three. I have the big two because we don't have his birth time, but same as Beckett last week. Don't have the birth time, don't have the ascendant sign. So your ascendant sign is like people's first impression of you. It's like your mask you put on for like acquaintances, just the general public. We don't have that, so I don't know what it is, but I do know your.
Wait, so if I know my birth time, that you would know what people's first impression of me is what you're saying?
Yes, based on astrology sign.
I can text my mom right now.
I was like,
find out.
Yeah, find out if you can.
Find out if you can. But I was gonna say your son.
Do you believe in astrology at all, Joe?
No, but I always think this stuff's like interesting. I always think it's fun.
Have a good time with it. I feel bad because I am a co-host and I don't necessarily believe it, but I do live for it.
Yeah, Becca's like, I don't believe in it, but I believe in you, Jamie. That's the energy I get from you. You believe in me.
So it's what time I was born?
Yeah, your time of birth. Because your
Let me just
son,
get past my dick pics to her.
Yeah, just text out really quick so that we get a faster response.
Yeah.
But your sun is Gemini because May 24th is when you're born. But then moon sign is Taurus, which is an earth sign. It's a little bit more grounded. So I picked Arrested Development and I picked Batman universe characters to do your sun sign and your moon sign.
Okay.
So for Arrested Development, your sun sign, which is your like ego, general sense of self, is Lindsay Bluth.
Oof, that's not good, right? Is it?
I mean, I like her, but then your moon sign is supposed to be like your inner emotional world and like how you feel about yourself, and that is Oscar Bluth.
Oscar.
So the dad's identical
this is
twin.
all Arrested Development so far. Okay, gotcha. I didn't know if that was switching to the Batman then after.
I was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I mean, here's the thing: it's so Arrested Development. It's like, oof, there are not going to be a lot of characters I want to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
even Michael is.
Yeah. But the thing is, so then with Batman, I have that you are a Riddler, ego, sun sign, and then
that's not what people's first impression. That's just what I present to be. Or which one is?
Your first impression is ascendant, so it's like we don't.
Oh, we don't have that yet. Okay, but we
it's
will.
Like your sun sign is like your like sense. It's like your sense of self, ego.
The Riddler is what I think of myself.
The way you think of yourself. Taurus is Killer Croc.
What the hell? I didn't even know it was a character.
Okay. Wait, you don't know? Well,
from
Batman? Are you a
Batman
fan?
Yeah.
I mean, I like The Dark Knight and all that. Is that the movie that we're picking, or like the whole?
We're talking about the movie.
The whole
She's doing like going into the comic books.
Okay.
For Killer Croc is a character in Batman.
Yeah, basically, I just did like which Batman.
I'm assuming he's an alligator.
Yeah,
nail it. Okay.
Nailed it.
No, are you fucking stupid? He's a crocodile. You gotta look at the snout.
He's a stingray.
Look at the snout.
Well, no, I mean, okay, so since the characters are not our faves, I guess I would just be a little bit more specific and say like Gemini is an air sign. It's the twins, so basically they're supposed to be like yin and yang to your personality, which is why you're like, oh, it depends on the day, like whether or not I'm gonna like this. I thought that was like an interesting thing to say, because it's like, yeah, you're somebody that's like, you take things one day at a time.
Yeah.
But then like your Taurus moon, which is supposed to be like your inner emotional world, Taurus is very much like grounded, earth energy. They're known as being very like cozy, homebody type of people who like care about having like deep caring relationships over like close with everybody. So it's like Taurus and Gemini, I feel like they couldn't be more different.
Oh, really? Okay.
So it's kind of fun that it's like what people think you are versus like how you actually see yourself and feel about yourself are not really the same.
So which one is who he thinks he is and which one is who he really is?
Well, they're both who he really is. They're both who he really is. No, it's like I'd say like the Gemini one is more of like just the general, like that's your birth date sign, but your moon sign is supposed to be like how you see yourself and how you act when you're really close with somebody and comfortable. And that's his for that is Taurus, which is like a lot more of like a grounded earthy energy than like Gemini is kind of like, the Riddler's there's like friends with everybody. You
what's
know, like,
Killer Croc like then?
I guess
he lives in the sewer, I think.
He's an alligator who kills no one. The name is just so distracting.
No, I'm just really good at being a crocodile. I don't know what you're talking
about. Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's
I do want to find out what people's first impression of me is based on this birth time thing.
Well, yeah, I was like, if you don't get it back from your mom, I can look it up later, and I can always in another episode be like, and Joe Fernandez's descendant is, you guessed it, the Joker. Like, imagine.
Yeah, God, seriously, that is what people would think. They'd be like, how did he get those scars on his heart? I wanted to text me back. I want to find that out now. I always think this stuff is interesting. Like, but like when I go to New Orleans, I always go to voodoo shops and get my tarot cards read. You know. But I had a dude who got it so wrong when I was in New Orleans. It was crazy when he read my tarot. Like, he was saying, I said relationship and I said career, and he was just so. He's like, in your career, I don't know if you can trust your business partner. And I'm like, I do stand up, so who's he talking about right now? I can't think of a more solo job. Since I have a Laugh Factory right now, like I can't trust
that my
Curtis.
Business
Like
partner?
what?
Yeah.
Oh man! And so I just kept going with it. And then once I started telling him what I did, he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's this." And he like started to like really bullshit. And I was like, "All right, man."
That's the thing is like, again, it's like I totally understand when people don't believe in it, but it's like I think if you find a reader who's very good, they can be really helpful. Like I have the person I go to, she's like just the accuracy and like how spot on she will like call things before they happen. Like I had like she did a reading where she's like, oh, like this person, you and this person are gonna fall out. And I remember being like, no, I don't like this reading. I don't want to hear it. And then it happened. Yeah. Exactly.
But do you think it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because you heard that then?
Ooh. See, I considered that, which is why I was like, I'm going to take a few months off of getting the readings and just see how it goes.
Yeah.
Just take the advice that I got. Because the advice that I got from her was mainly like, stop burning yourself out and burning the candles at both ends and like refocus your energy, which is good advice.
This isn't your CBT, right? This is
no.
Cognitive behavioral tarot card reading.
Yeah. No, my therapist is good too. I will say my therapist. I sometimes I'm like, feel like it's the blind leading a blind just because she's young. I feel like I've never had a young therapist. She's like 30.
Oh yeah,
29.
Mine's a year younger than me. Yeah.
What is it? I always had a therapist who was like an older, like woman, like a 40, 50-year-old woman. So it's like it's a very new energy for me to like be therapized by a younger white lady who is like my age, but I trust her. Yeah. I trust her. Like, she went to school. She knows what she's doing.
I think that's the thing, is that they've been trained in all these techniques and have seen a lot of patients. So, like, it's not just their life experience. But I do like when a therapist draws on their life experience. Yeah. Like, I had one who admitted I think it's okay if I say, please, as long as you don't say the names.
Yeah, no, just don't say the name.
I had a therapist, and she was awesome. I had her for like 7 years. She had to move and do other shit. But, she told me, she was like, because I remember I was like having trouble in my relationship. She's like, well, I'm divorced. And she was like, I was having an affair. That's why. And I was like, see, that like humanizes your therapist. Where you're like, oh, even they have stuff. Yeah. Which I'm sure other people would be like, wait, what? They're not perfect. But it's like, no, because they're people too. Yeah. And they're teaching you techniques that they've learned also,
I know somebody in my life, and I won't call this out, who is currently in a committed relationship with their former therapist.
Whoa.
Is that not insane? Is that not insane?
That's like spicy.
I love this person very deeply. I hope they don't hear this on this podcast.
I hope they don't.
Where's that edit button, baby?
Honey.
Rewind and delete.
I also know somebody who makes out with their doctor.
What?
I fucking love that. I will say there's a professor at my old university.
It's insane. It's
that's illegal as hell, right?
No, here's the thing is they've described it for me, and like what went down, and I was like, okay, listen, this is hot, but it is very bad. It is so bad. It is so bad.
It's so
How
naughty.
does that come up?
I don't know. The person who does it has like sex like an HBO character. Do you know what I mean? To where it's like they can like take it from like that like to like all of a sudden we're fucking in the bathroom.
So off air we're gonna hear who both these people are.
Yeah,
right? I have to know.
I really want to know so bad.
I actually will tell both of you. You won't know either of them. It's just like I'll tell you how I know them.
Okay, love that. Love it.
But I won't on the podcast, so it can be secret. One of them I think could listen to this podcast. The other one I don't know. Both of them maybe. I love both of them dearly, although both of those things I'm like, what the fuck?
It's very
tell
spicy.
us the doctor at least. I want to go see this fella.
Will not tell me the doctor.
Wait, is the doctor a he or she?
I don't know.
I can't operate. That's that old question that proves sexism, where it's like, I can't make out with this patient. It's my son.
Well, they passed the Bechdel test before they
Is that what that's called? The Bechdel test?
Yeah. Have you heard? The Bechdel test is whether or not you'll make out with your doctor. No. It's like your doctor. Have either of you had a hot doctor though?
I
don't think so.
I have had one really hot doctor.
God.
And
I've had hot nurses before.
Okay, yeah,
but that's weirder because you're like generally if you're in that situation, you're like I was shitting on myself. Yeah.
Oh no. Oh,
and it was just like, I can't impress her. No way.
Yeah. No. Honestly. I wouldn't want to be making out with my doctor, because then it's like, I'd like be like fixing things. Do you know what I mean? I'm like I can't tell them I have syphilis. You know what I mean? Like now I'm fucked.
Yeah. How can you be open and honest about that? Like, are you sexually active? You better not be.
Yeah.
Have you been making out with any other doctor?
I mean, I kind of have a crush on my audiologist, but I think it's just because he has an Irish accent. If he listens to this, I'm going to walk into traffic, though. I will walk into traffic.
Oh,
I can't believe accents are such a turn on. I can't understand that.
It's like,
hello. Oh, everyone just got fucking hard. Everyone standing at the table just
even me. It just reached all the way.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Why are they attractive?
I actually don't understand why accents are attractive either, really.
Generally speaking, when I've met a girl, even if it's like, because everyone loves like Irish and English, and when I eat Irish and English, I'm just like, it's harder to understand you now. That's it. I don't see the
Maybe that's the part of the appeal is
that you can't understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
I think all I will
really
or that
need
it's
to know
just,
is
it just that it's different?
Talk dirty to me.
I think it must. I think it must be different. I will say, when I was in the UK. I remember I got into a taxi, and all I said was to the taxi driver, I was just like, "Thanks for going to Newport," and he was like, "Oh my God, like, what is your accent? It's so hot." And he crashed the car. He crashed the taxi. He was so taken with my annoying Midwestern accent that he crashed the vehicle. So I think it's just because it's different.
I will say,
because this is not a good voice.
I had the English women tell me American accents aren't attractive, so I was like, all right, that's kind of...
Yeah, I think that, I wish I knew what, like, my accent sounded like to people who don't have my accent. Because you know how I just wish I knew what that context was for their brain.
Yeah.
Like, but I feel like there's... The Midwestern accent is so undistinct or something.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, is it indistinct or is it because I have grown up through this accent the whole time? But
that you don't notice the difference. Yeah.
I mean, I definitely don't think it's crash a car worthy. I don't understand why that happened.
No.
That guy was just a horny son of a bitch.
I think he was just a horny boy.
How old was he?
He looks like he was like probably like 35.
Oh, okay.
Like mid-30s.
So I can see like a 60-year-old guy doing that. That seems more like a 60-year-old man thing to do.
Nah, he was
to
like
get
35.
so turned on by an accent, you crash.
Whoa! I hate it. I hate it when I get so turned on I fall down a flight of stairs and just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. I hate it when I get so turned on I run off a cliff and don't realize I'm running on air until I look down and then fall.
I hate it when I get so turned on and my eyes just like pop out of my face and my heart goes no, you know?
Yeah, one time I saw this hot chick and she was in this like cave, but it turned out it was just painted on the wall, so I just ran straight into it.
Bing, bing, bing. That's exactly where I was going. That's
a fun. That'll be a new game we introduce to people. Is that I get so turned on, and then you have to make up a situation that happened to Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
Wile E. Coyote situation. Oh,
is that what was happening? Wile E. Coyote was just so horny for that Roadrunner. He was.
You know what? That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like he
was an incel.
A sexual element to that. Wile E. Coyote's an incel. You heard it here first.
Yeah,
folks.
man.
You heard it here first, folks.
All those fucking weapons because he couldn't get the Roadrunner.
I have a friend who's really deep into incel culture on
purpose or researching it, or is it a mix?
It's a mix. It's a mix of fascination and also well, we were both late in life virgins, and I take off the mask. I'm an incel. I give off people always like meet me for the first time. They go, "You give off a very incel vibe. You give
really
no.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was gonna say what?
I think I'm the exact opposite of what people think of when they think of an incel. But I think we were just fascinated by it, like as the idea of like. Just like a very different reaction to like being a virgin. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I didn't lose my virginity until I was almost 20, and I wasn't like angry about it.
Yeah, I lost.
Like,
yeah.
I was angry at the religion that told me I wasn't supposed to be having sex. I wasn't angry at the women.
No, that's where
the one that made me feel bad for being attracted to women. That's what I.
Yeah. It's crazy. They make you feel bad for being attracted to women. They make you feel bad for being attracted to men. It's like, who am I supposed to fuck around here?
Literally.
Honey. Only thing getting me wet's this holy water. Okay.
I mean, I think
that's rabbi, Catholic priest.
But it's like, I think I said last time on the podcast, like I lost my virginity incredibly young, and so it's like I almost to these dudes I want to be like, chill. Like the alternative of losing your virginity super young, I think, is way worse.
Hang on, real quick. So I asked both my mom and my dad. My mom has the exact time, right? My mom says 10:19 p.m. My dad wrote back, I think noonish, but let me ask mom. he's almost as far apart as you could be from the time I was born. So try 10:19 p.m.
Let's see.
I think noonish.
Let's see.
But my mom knew the time on the dot.
Oh, and you're Newton. Okay, I got to re-enter Newton, Massachusetts. Hold on.
Wait, hang on. I'm not going to get my identity stolen from this podcast, am I? My birthplace and time?
I don't know.
I don't
can you
think
give me your
that's
social
is that
security
useful
number,
to people?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that useful to people? Do you got to put that in for
one of my security
somewhere?
questions? Like, if I tell you my mom's maiden name now, people can get into my Expedia account or whatever, or Experian.
Wait, okay.
You know, can I be honest? I get sick of cybersecurity every time I have to log into something. I go, make this easier.
Yeah.
I go, I don't give a fuck
do?
who gets in there. I want to get in there.
Yeah. No, I know. Experian's like that, dude. And the other thing is, a lot of times when I get my notifications of Experian, a majority of the time, it's just a registered sex offender moved in the neighborhood. And I'm like, why is this on my security for my... Like, do you have Experian or no?
I'm struggling to think of what that is.
Okay, it's like a website that basically protects it's like your credit, and you can freeze your credit off of it and all this stuff. And it's a way of just monitoring.
I've never owned a credit card.
Oh no?
I've never had a credit card before.
Wow, Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm very afraid to get one because
I know. I run mine up all the time. Mine's run up pretty high right now. So
live, laugh, love.
Yeah.
So your ascendant sign is Capricorn, which is another earth sign, but it's a very different energy from Taurus. I'm finding your Arrested Development character is maybe.
Is that good or bad?
I feel like maybe he's one of the better ones.
Yeah, I feel like she's one of the better ones.
She's like aware. She just does bad stuff because she's like aware of how much everything sucks. Yeah.
Which is that's your Mask of the World, and then your
my Mask of the World is maybe Funke.
Yeah, and then Batman villains wise, it is I'm really trying to. They did not put them in the order that the signs actually happen, so I don't know why they did that. That's annoying.
I know I'm
Deathstroke.
Who is that?
Will Smith played him in the Suicide Squad movie.
What is this? Like a guy where if he gives you a hand job?
Yeah. You're gonna die. Yeah.
He just walk into it.
I would love if that was the ring. Someone gives you a hand job. It's like, you have 7 days to live.
Oh my God.
That's kind of what It Follows is.
Oh yeah, or like that movie The Box or whatever, where if you push it, you get $1 million, but someone So if you give someone a hand job, you get $1 million, but then you have to find someone else to jack off. So that way,
if you give somebody a hand job, you get $1 million, but then they come,
and it's really gross. And that's a 2-hour movie with Cameron Diaz.
Ooh, I have to give you a hand job. Gross.
Your Cameron Diaz is so good. It's
I didn't even. Yeah, that was my killer, Cameron Diaz.
I said that.
So. Yeah. Oh no, I was gonna. So what is the Capricorn thing? So it's like similar to the Taurus, you said, or what?
No, so basically they're both Earth signs.
Okay.
So in the zodiac, there's 4 different elements to the signs. There's fire, water, air, and earth. Mm-hmm. So your sun sign is an air sign, but then your moon sign and your rising sign are both earth signs. So it means it's more of like a grounded, calm energy. Oh. But the thing that's funny is that like earth signs and air signs are typically like combining oil and water. They're like opposites.
Oh, no wonder I have inner turmoil then, right?
Yeah, because one's very because part of you wants to be very grounded and steady, but then the Gemini part of you wants to just like wild out and like go where the wind takes you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So they're not really always working in harmony with one another.
No, now I get it. Now I get why I don't like myself.
Okay,
that's it. We solved it.
Who's
here
at
today.
fault? Is it Killer Croc or Deathstroke?
And you know what? I think because since it's about when and where you were born, you can't change it. That's just going to be a part of yourself for forever, and you can't improve at all.
No, yeah. That's what my therapist says. He's like, you're beyond help, but I need this money, so
I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that you're incapable of changing based on your zodiac sign. I think it just your zodiac stuff informs you and helps make you self-aware on perhaps areas that may need a little love. That is like the most therapized way I could say that sentence. Okay. But yeah. It's namaste, namasta, namaste.
Namaste, mamakusa.
I didn't know the last words of it. That's why I said namaste, namasta. Exasperated. I'm exasperated trying.
Is that the name of this podcast? Exasperated?
Yeah, I'm exasperated when I try to
Exacerbated.
Talk today.
The new villain who kills people through hand jobs.
Exacerbate. Wow.
I do like hearing that astrology stuff because I think you do. Then it makes maybe that's the point of it, is to make you analyze parts of yourself that you didn't think about.
Do you have like a
that's why I like it.
A guilty pleasure? I guess guilty pleasure is a weird way to. But do you have like a superstition or like something like that like you
subscribe to?
Or are you?
I give blowjobs to members of ISIS. Is that?
Honey, that's something. Honey, they take head, you give it to them. No.
No, I think we all have the superstitious thing that, like, before you go on stage, there is something, and it always revolves around drinking for me, where it used to be I'd do like a shot and a beer right before I went on stage or something, but now I don't drink before I go on stage. But it's just weird how there's like things where you're like, oh, I wore that shirt when I bombed, so now I can't wear that on stage. At least for a while you can't anyway, you know?
Yeah.
No, I definitely get that. I've kind of tried to. I used to have OCD. I probably still have OCD, but it just manifests in different ways. But I used to like have to, if I saw a pattern of, have I already talked about this? If I saw a pattern of a number on a clock, I would have to snap it out and not talk for that whole minute while that number is on the clock.
Whoa, that's intense.
Yeah. And then if there was somebody talking around me, because it would have to be technically completely silent for me to do it correctly. But if somebody was talking around me, I'd have to clap out the number 3 times.
Would people notice?
Yeah, and I wouldn't be able to explain it to them for a full minute. So sometimes people
just thought they made a good point.
Yeah. I wouldn't, and I couldn't explain it to them the whole minute because I wasn't allowed to talk in my head. And like, so I don't know. So I've been trying to basically get rid of all of my superstitions. I think because those things are connected in my mind. You know what I mean? And also, I'm not religious or spiritual really in any way.
Totally.
Which I kind of wish I was, because I feel like there's a lot of comfort that comes from it, but I just can't. I tried to be a Wiccan when I was a kid for a second. I tried like all these different religions. I was like, wait, Wiccan's cool. Like then you can be a witch, you know?
Yeah.
But then it's like I don't believe in that either.
Yeah. The part of me that misses being religious was the praying and like thinking your dead relatives had your back or whatever. And then, you know, you lose that and it sucks. But it's like you can't just go back on then being like, well, just believe it. You can't just like fake believing something.
No, you can't fake believe
Which sucks. I do miss that comfort of praying and thinking like someone has your back is great. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. Now I guess you just need to like, from now on, like when people die,
now I just know I'm truly alone.
Yeah, live, laugh, love.
Yeah.
LOL.
Yeah, I wish I had like a locket with like my ancestors in it, so I could be like, get them, you know, and then
and then just like launch out. That would be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very spiritual, but it's like it's a different type of energy that I think would exacerbate you both if I tried to get into it this late in the chit chat.
Honey. I mean, I don't know. I wish I was. I think that there's a lot of comfort that can come from it. But
I do. There are times when I miss it for that reason. What I don't like it for is I think a lot of like that self-loathe stuff comes from it because it's like a perfectionist religion. I was Catholic.
Yeah.
So it's like because it's never good enough.
Yeah.
I think it really causes a lot of the issues I still deal with. Of like I remember the first time I had sex, and even like then the next time when I was about to do it, I was like mad at myself for wanting to do it. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like I remember the girl on her way over, and I was like, "What's wrong with me? Why do I want it?" It's like it was crazy. It was insane, you know?
Yeah, no, it is so brutal. I mean, Catholicism is fucked up. I mean,
what do they do to like? It's okay to be gay though, right?
Oh yeah, they're cool with that.
Yeah.
As long as it's with kids. Yeah, Catholicism. What a wild religion.
Wild.
I technically, here's the other thing I'll say is I went to 2 different types of churches as a kid. I was never forced to be religious, but I would go to my grandma's house and she would take me to church. And that one was like at least fun because it was like kind of like a small town, like, and I don't remember anyone ever saying anything about being gay, luckily, which honestly I'm surprised because they were thinking it, you know. They were thinking it, but I don't think they ever said it aloud that I could comprehend at least. But I do know that like I had this Sunday school teacher named Cheryl, and I remember her telling me that she like volunteered at jail. And she thought that the reason that everyone had done the bad things they did in that prison was because they were possessed by demons. And then she also told me, she was like, you know, no matter what you do, how terrible you are, the only thing that you can go to hell for that you won't like is not believing in God. I'm like, Cheryl, but but like you're telling me you can be like a serial killer and then like you like ask for forgiveness but then like let's say that there's like people in a different country, they don't speak a language that can translate even Christianity at this point. They've never had any interaction with that. They've never like I asked her this literally. I go, you're telling me they're going to hell because they don't believe? And she goes, okay. She says, so you say they're a good person, but do they believe? And then I was like, okay, yeah, time to give up. And she actually ended up quitting the church because we hung up a witch as Halloween decorations once.
Oh my God. No, I feel like somebody like that, it's just like there's just no getting them to like dial back on any of it. And it's no longer like that version of God, like what a narcissistic piece of shit. Like all he cares about is as long as you believe in me, and I'm making it to him. It is in my mind. It's a very masculine energy to be like, you can be a fucking garbage bag, but if you believe in me, come on down.
Well, Dahmer was a born again, so he's up there technically by all the just making people feel real comfortable at the water cooler.
Yeah, really comfy cozy.
How'd you guys get in? I asked for forgiveness after murder fucking 20 people, so you know I belong here just as much as you, Gandhi. Well, wait, no, Gandhi can't be there because he's not a believer in Christ, right?
No, Gandhi's not in heaven.
Yeah, so Dahmer is in heaven, Gandhi's not.
Yeah.
And that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes
to me
perfect logical sense.
I'm going to say something, at home, it doesn't make sense to me because Dahmer's gay. I tried to make a joke work about that where it's like, of course they're gay serial killers. Like they're like, if you think you're going to hell for being gay and you're gay and you also want to kill these kids, you're already going to hell for being gay. It's like you might as well kill some kids too. You know, it's like
I love the idea that they are still holding on to the idea of heaven despite all that. They're like, well, maybe if I just kind of fudge the numbers here and do it and then ask for forgiveness.
Yeah.
My God.
No, I bet John Wayne Gacy, he was super religious too. John Wayne Gacy was super religious. Both of our John Wayne Gacy and Jeffrey Dahmer are like Chicago's top two. I feel like big serial
Dahmer
killers.
was Milwaukee.
Was he?
That's why they have a statue of him next to Fonzie.
Wait. Is that true?
No, I'm funny with that. No, at the Riverwalk, they do have a Fonzie statue. It would be so funny. Just like a tall, skinny Dahmer right behind him, like
just like
watching over.
We gave him a statue, and it looks creepy because we want people to know that if you kill a bunch of people, we're gonna make a creepy statue of you.
What is funny because I can't even think of who else they have statues of. So it's like Fonzie's not a real guy.
They have a crushed red Solo cup.
As a statue?
It's a giant like
artwork?
art installment. It's just like like if somebody took a red Solo cup and like crushed it after beer pong.
I'm gonna tell you this right now though. There is some cultural connotation that's interesting there. I'm defending crazy art right now. Yeah. You know that there's something there that's like trash. There's
trash is treasure.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot.
I love Milwaukee. It has a lot of heart. The cheese curds are good.
Milwaukee.
Just the red Solo cup always makes me laugh because I'm like,
it's
just giant.
Where did you grow up, Joe? Where did you grow up?
Well, I grew up in Houston. That's where I grew up.
Oh, okay. So gotcha. So a big city.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was gonna say I grew up in a small town, but Richard Pryor is the only person I can think of that we have a statue of because he's from Peoria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the smallest city I ever lived in was Naperville, and they had a Dick Tracy statue there.
Yeah.
They have a Dick Tracy statue on the Riverwalk, that has no connotation to the city whatsoever. So I don't know what that's for.
They're like we're all dicks here. You know?
They also have. Me and Matt Riggs laughed about this when we went down there one time. Is they have just this memorial wall of kids rendering of what they thought the 9/11 victims looked like. So they aren't the actual victims. They had the kids draw what they thought the victims looked like. And there's a dude with like fire sunglasses and like I'm like, what? Who is this for?
You're joking.
No, I'm not kidding. Look, I'm gonna look up Naperville 9/11 Memorial, and it is kids rendering of what they thought the victims may look like. So they're not the real victims. I don't know what it's for.
It's just a bunch of twins. They're like, well, they said it was the Twin Tower.
Naperville.
I
don't remember 9/11, so I think I'm more.
Yeah, it's before your time.
I'm very flippant with it.
It did happen, just so you know.
It did happen, but I believe you. I mean, I remember I was in 3rd grade and they just like showed us on the TV. They just put it on, just showed us the TVs. I was just like, well, bet. Like that's.
I guess that does seem like an insane instinct to have for kids, is like
to just show us.
I'm trying to find it right now.
But also, to be fair, like, I remember when whatever Apollo crashed, they had it on every TV in every school because they were showing the launch, because there was a teacher on board, and so all the kids of America were like excited watching the rocket take off, and then it crashed, and so all the kids watched that. And imagine like that's your teacher, and you're watching the thing blow up. So that's probably why like those kids were our teachers.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, we're gonna show you 9/11. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we had to watch the Apollo. We'll show you 9/11.
You know, I went to Donald Trump's inauguration.
You did?
Because it was like a school trip, and I like, we were getting time off, and I thought Hillary Clinton was going to win. And I was like, well, you know, I'll be at the inauguration of the first ever woman president, which I was like, that's a moment in history, at least, you know.
Oh, so you already had it planned.
and then Donald Trump won,
and you were there.
I mean, honestly, it was still a fun trip. I mean, I hate Donald Trump, you know, to the core, obviously, but it was a fun trip.
It does sound like it would be a fun trip.
It was fascinating.
I couldn't find an image of it. It's kind of hard to look up Naperville 9/11.
I believe that. I do believe that. I do think we might have to do our song soon, just because we're
Yeah. Are there any other
running
features that we missed or no?
Any features?
I usually do a big game, but we got it. But
it.
I also didn't prepare anything.
So the big game today is
sing a song.
Sing the song about
Joe Fernandez. The big game today is trying to keep up with us. Okay.
we're really feeling us. Okay, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to just like summarize, like, in my mind, even as the piano starts playing, like what we talked about today. We talked about your astrology chart. Your mom and dad didn't know the same time. We talked about how I can't say the word. It's exasperate. Okay. Mm-hmm. And
we talked about religion.
We talked about a lot of things. But what are we gonna sing about?
I guess
maybe we'll sing about how we don't know what to sing about.
No, I think.
Whatever the opposite of improv, yes and is. It was.
No, but
I think I can start now. I'll just say, Exasterbate is my religion. It's the only thing that I believe in. Exasterbate is my religion. It's the only thing that I believe in.
Well, my sign says I was born at 10:19. Between that time and noon, we're not sure. Have to ask my parents, but only one remembers. And my religion is Namaste, Namaste, Mamakusa.
Wow, yeah. Oh, we are exacerbated with this topic, so I'm gonna throw out some new ones that we did not address in this podcast. Like, why is the ocean blue? No one knows.
Ooh.
Why am I sad? No one knows.
Not even you.
Why is... Hey... Okay. Exasterbated, yeah.
Why the hell did you go and make things so exacerbated?
Why'd you have to go and make things so exacerbated?
I see the way you're acting like it's somebody else gets me exacerbated. Life's like this. You fall?
You crawl, you breathe, and you get so exacerbated that you gotta exacerbate it all over your face. Face it. We're not gonna get any better than this, so we might as well just keep on rolling with it. We might as well just keep on rolling with it.
We might as well just keep on rolling with it. We might as well just keep on rolling with it.
Like a skater boy, keep on rolling in with it. Like a skater boy, keep on rolling with it. Like a skater boy, keep on rolling with it. Like a skater boy, keep on rolling with it. Like a skater boy.
Exacerbate this.
Bitch. Well, that is the end of the Big Finish podcast today. We want to thank our amazing guest, Joe Fernandez, for being with us today. Joe, how can our listeners and lovers and haters find you?
The haters can find me inside my asshole, bitch.
Where can they find you on the internet to watch more of your stuff?
It's myasshole.org. We're getting a group together.
.org.
Yeah, I know. It's a big group, buddy. No, JoeFernandezComedy.com, and also check out my special on YouTube called Ugly.
Oh, yay!
Well, as always, I have been one of your hosts, Jamie Turner, and my amazing co-host is with me here,
Beckett Kenny, baby.
We'll see you soon. Bye.
Thank y'all. Bye.
This is the Big Finish at Lincoln Lodge. We're about to get it on the show. So come on, everybody, and get the show on the road.
Let's get it on the road.